swimming like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank.
Welcome back to the Shrimp Tank Tulsa post-show wrap-up. I'm your host, Marty Williams, sitting here with my co-host, Matt Hulse. We just finished another wonderful show today with our guest today, Kevin Nashan, with Peacemaker Lobster and Crab Company. We talked about lobster, crab, we talked about hunting, we talked about everything that you need to know to be able to take a business that you already have in one state, pick it up and do the exact same thing in the next state. Very interesting episode. If you want to catch that episode or any of our past episodes, you should check out shrimptanktulsa.com or go find us on iTunes or Instagram searching Shrimp Tank Tulsa. So Kevin, again, thank you very much for being on the show today. What were some of the largest obstacles that you faced, starting up the restaurant here in Tulsa?
Thanks for having me. We could spend a couple days on this. I think, there was a lot of obstacles, but I think there was, like I said, I always think that it takes a village of people to get something like this off the ground, especially in a different city. But, Elliot was a big help, Nelson, with, sending us in the right way with getting certain licenses. But, Tuck Kern helped me out tremendously with my liquor license. We were able to help. He was able to help us out with that. And I think just going through, just different bureaucratic channels that are different here than they are back in St. Louis. So it was just,
Very good.
Very good. One of the most interesting things about your bio that we read was that you had the opportunity to cook for President Barack Obama. So can you give the listeners of the show a background of what it takes to be able to cook for the President of the United States?
Obviously an honor. But I don't know what it takes. Anybody, right? But we were grateful that we got the opportunity to cook for him. It was amazing. I think that it was one of those things that we were just kind of right place, right time, and then just given the kind of blank canvas of just kind of coming up with a menu, and it was really a really amazing experience.
So one thing we talked about on the show was the Secret Service guys ended up spicing and saucing some of the dishes. And,
they
ended up being a decent little sous chef for you.
They kind of had to help out. I guess there was like a security breach of some sort, so they kicked my whole staff with the exception of like my brother and I and one other person out. So we had to basically plate really quickly 50 plates, and I needed help, so we used the Secret Service, which was the FBI, and they literally were like garnishing and saucing, and it was pretty interesting. I wish I was a fly on the wall for that because I would have loved to see it, but highly stressful at the time, and it was just funny. It's one of those things that I think that they didn't really expect to happen, nor did we, and it was just, it all worked out.
So Kevin, we talked about where the idea for Peacemaker came from and kind of what Peacemaker means. Can you share a little bit more about where all that comes from?
Yeah, as the years go by, you kind of set and you want to do things that really kind of make you happy and in turn obviously make other people happy. And I think that's how Peacemaker came about. Peacemaker, the actual name is the predecessing name for the pool boy, which was 2 pieces of white bread that were with fried oysters and mayonnaise, supposedly given for angry housewives and angry bosses. But we had all these amazing seafood connections because of Sydney Street over the years, and I spent 4 years cooking before I had Sydney Street in New Orleans and Commander's Palace and a couple other restaurants, and growing up I went to Maine, and so I kind of, that was the food I really wanted to nosh on at the end of the day, and so I kind of was like this is the kind of food I want to do if we open up another restaurant. And so I kind of wanted to connect Maine and Louisiana, and since they both were connected through the Acadian route, I kind of figured why not. So that's what we did. And example is like chowders and gumbos. The Acadians basically started in Maine and migrated to Lafayette, Louisiana. So the same people are kind of coming up with your chowders, came up with your gumbo. So it's pretty interesting stuff. And it just all worked out. So it's been fun.
Very good.
Very good. Well, where can the people of Tulsa find you if they wanted to try out Peacemaker for themselves?
Absolutely. So Peacemaker Lobster and Crab in Tulsa is located in the downtown district in the Blue Dome district. And you can find us on our website. And we can't wait to have you.
And we got they have some of the best chips in there, right?
I'm telling you, you're going to go for the lobster and crab and
You'll come back for the chips.
back for the chips.
All right. Well, Kevin, again, thank you very much for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
Again, if you want to check out this show and catch what Kevin has to say that we didn't have enough time to fit into this video, check out our podcast, shrimptanktulsa.com, or find us on iTunes. So we'll see you next time.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond.